Hey everyone, it's Mark, Skipper Mark. I am standing in front of Matt's newly lifted 1984 Chevy K10 pickup truck. But that's not what this video is about. A video for that is coming shortly. This video is about our new Champion generator. It's a model 100496. We got it last Tuesday when Tropical Storm Isaias came through town and wreaked havoc. In the box with the paperwork, there was a coupon that said if we made a video review about this product, we would get a free t-shirt. Please note this review is 100% my opinion and is no way influenced by the fact that I will be getting a free t-shirt for it. We had a previous Champion generator that we loved. It was a model 46515. It ran at 3,500 watts and 4,000 starting watts. But we wanted to get one that was a little bigger so that we could run a few more things on it. A few things I like about this generator versus our other one is the wheels. Our other generator, you could get wheels as an option, but this one comes standard with it. This generator is pretty heavy, so those wheels make it nice to roll around. They also included this handle, which is neat. You can just pick it up and just easily kind of move it into position. That was an option on the other one too. It came with the whole kit, wheels and handle, but it was so light we didn't really need it. Another thing I like about this generator is it has this IntelliGauge here, and what that does is that provides 4 bits of information. I would show you with it running, but it's pretty loud and I don't think you'd even hear me. So it shows the frequency or the hertz of the power that it's delivering, and that seemed to range from 58 to 62 hertz. So in the US, 60 hertz is standard. It also shows the voltage that's being used. I didn't really quite figure that out because I had 3 cords in it. I would run our refrigerator off this outlet here, and then I would run our inside stuff like refrigerator's inside too, but I'd run our TV and some other things, charge our cell phones, things like that, off of one of these. And then another cord we used to run down to our washing machine so we could do laundry. So for the volts on that, I'm not really quite sure how they worked. When I would plug in one cord, like our fridge, it would say it was using around 120. When I would plug in the second cord, it would jump to like 240, 245. And then if I plugged in a third cord, it still stayed at 245. So I'm guessing that just means that it's showing that, we're pulling 240 total, 120 and 120. The gauge also shows hours used on a tank of gas. When you shut it off, the gauge resets back to 0. So that's nice. You can see about how many hours you run and get a rough idea of how much gas you have left. They say it runs about 9 hours on 6 gallons of gas, but I found that we ran, the tank's 5.7 gallons, and I would fill it at night and only have to fill it in the morning with like 3 to 4 gallons of gas, and the same for the evening when I filled it. So I'm thinking we didn't really have much load on it at all, and it probably burned about 4 gallons every 12 hours. Never once did it run out of gas on us or anything. We went 13 hours once, and we still had quite a bit of gas in it. The IntelliGauge also has an overall hours. That's really handy for service because you're supposed to follow certain a maintenance schedule. So first thing you're supposed to do is when you get it, they give you the oil and you fill the oil. The oil fills in here, and that's also the gauge to check its level. After 5 hours, you want to drain it, and you drain it here. The reason you drain it is the engine is breaking in and it gets a lot of little metal shavings. When you drain the oil, you can actually see like a shimmer in the oil. That's the metal shavings. So you don't want that in the engine, long term, because it can hurt it. So give it an oil change after 5 hours. One thing I like about this is super easy to start. Even our old one was very easy to start, and we hadn't run it since 2011. But I went through the not winterization, but the long-term storage procedure, and it literally started on the first pull. So to me, I'm not sure if Champion makes the motors or someone else does, but they run great, easy to start. I'll actually show you how it works. I actually now have it in long-term storage mode. So in our tank of gas, we have maybe a quarter of a tank left. We have we put fuel stabilizer in there, which keeps the gas good, and it doesn't let it varnish the carburetor and things like that. But I'm actually going to run the tank dry because I don't want to store it with gas in it. So when you first get it, you fill the oil. It takes 1.2 quarts. That's what they give you, but they recommend, we checked it. We didn't just assume it was going to be the right amount. You don't want to overfill it. That's really bad for it. And you also don't want to underfill it, but they give you a range, and the bottle they gave us was right in that range. So first thing you want to do is, after you get your oil put in, you want to fill the gas tank. And since you're not putting it into storage mode when you first get it, you don't have to use any fuel stabilizer. One of the things that's kind of neat is in the gas tank, it has this little red, I don't know what it's called. It's just an indicator to show you where it goes. You can maybe see the gas down in there still. But when you fill it, you want the fuel to come up just to that fuel level line. You don't want to overfill it because gas will expand when it gets warm, and if it does, it could pop a seal on the tank. It could overflow. What I did was I took that little red thing out to make it easier to fill. I just eyeballed it, kind of saw where I was, and then I would put it back in to make sure that, I could tell if it was going to be overfull, and I never once overfilled it. It has a click, so just give it a few clicks like that, and when you go to start it, first thing you want to do is you want to check everything. Make sure there's nothing around, no combustibles. You want to keep it, I believe they recommend 5 feet away from anything that's combustible and 3 feet away from anything else. So first thing you want to do is turn on the gas, and that you just turn this down like that, and that allows gas to flow through the hose. You want to put the choke on full. Now, they recommend putting the choke on full for 1 pull. So you pull it once. If it doesn't start, shut the choke off and put it on run mode. Then you can do 3 more pulls, and I've never had to have it go that far, but if it doesn't start after 3 pulls in run, put the choke back on, but you don't want to flood it. You don't want to put too much gas into the carburetor. So once the fuel's on, the choke's on, you flip the switch. It's ready to go. So I'm just going to pull it once. It's going to be pretty loud, so I'll shut it off before I talk again. But as soon as I pull it, it's going to start to run. It's going to probably be a little sputtery because of the choke being on, but I'll immediately shut the choke off. So I'm just going to give it a pull. I switch the choke off immediately, and that's it. One thing that's a little confusing is that voltmeter. They didn't really clearly explain what it is. And another thing is the circuits here. They didn't really explain what they do. Like, does this pop the left one? Does this pop the right one? Does this pop just the 240? You don't know. I never popped one. I didn't overload it. So I'm not really quite sure what they do, but it's probably self-explanatory when you pop one. One thing I wanted to show you is that these outlets are GFCI. I think it stands for ground fault something. I don't know exactly. I'm not an electrician. But if you notice that something is not working and it doesn't have power, first, check the circuits, make sure they didn't pop. If they're both on, check this here, because they can pop as well. And if it does, just, you press that. This bottom button actually tests it to make sure it's working. So if you want to test it when it's running, just press that. Power will shut off to these outlets, and then you just press that and it'll reset it. I'm not exactly sure what the ground faults are for, so if they pop, I would check and try to figure out what that means. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you appreciated this review. I had never done one before, so this was kind of fun. Biggest advice I can give you is to read the manual. It goes through everything from start to finish in great detail, and other than the gauge and that being a little bit lax on information, the manual tells you how to operate it safely, how to do it right, and make sure you're operating it safely. So please read the manual from front to back. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.